Is that correct? I think we need to know.
That's what it is.
That's my understanding.
Right now, it's going to be new construction.
The book of code is not only for new construction.
No, it isn't, but this part of the code will be.
No,
Right.
he said book of code is for new construction.
I'm
That's
sorry.
not necessarily
You're
true.
quite right. I misspoke. The relevant portion that relates to sprinklers only pertains to new construction. And I think it's important to keep these two ideas somewhat separate because the consequences aren't the same.
In what sense? The consequences aren't the same.
I think the cost and the hardship on the homeowner to renovate his house is different than starting from a greenfield site. For example, we have here in the two aspects that pertain to applying sprinklers to an existing structure. One is if you increase the area by more than 75%, and the other is if you break a wall for a water pipe. The way this reads now is if I break one wall to put in another water pipe, then I have to put a sprinkler in the entire house.
No, where are you reading that it says that?
Well, maybe I've misread it, but it
says, this is
only
only time you can make anybody do it is if they do a 75% remodel on a house. That's it, period.
No, that's not what it says, Russ. Let me read it. It says for
What page are you on? What page?
Oh, I'm sorry, the bottom of page 2, starting paragraph B. For existing single-family dwellings, an automatic fire sprinkler system shall be required throughout the entire fire area that is being renovated if A, the renovated work in such fire area includes the uncovering of walls or ceilings for installation of new water lines or HVAC ducts, or the new area exceeding 75%. So either one of those triggers the requirement for sprinklers.
Exactly what it says.
So we have to
That's right.
shoot somebody.
Sure, that should have to say that.
Well, ample opportunity to change it. The discussion was that when those types of improvements are being done, people don't generally put in new water lines in a single room, but you can obviously make that a requirement that it be accompanied by a proportion of the area being renovated as well.
I would say 75% is what this should be the.
Why don't we just take out that first sentence all the way up to 3, or 2 rather, double I2, the new fire. Just say that for existing families, single-family dwellings, an automatic sprinkler system should be required in the new fire area resulting from the renovation equals 75% or more, period. That's it.
I think that's a good idea. I would like to put that amendment on the table.
That was my concern when I had brought up that section.
I was just thinking that was part of the 75% the way I was reading it. We had that all in together. But if you want to take that out, I can see where it could be misleading. So I would agree that I think we should just go for existing, like I just said, just take that I, that first point after I, just take that out of there and just say it's got to be a 75% remodel.
Is there a motion to amend?
I move to amend that to remove that subparagraph I.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that takes care of that. Good catch. What else you got? The other thing that bothers me is it's the only time I've been involved in this board for 15 years that we've got so many emails against something. Just laying it out there.
Ready for a motion?
Yes.
I think it.
I make a motion we adopt the ordinance as modified.
Second.
You need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Kunishin, second, is that?
Yes.
Trustee Chamberlain,
Aye.
trustee Gravitt,
Aye.
trustee Haber, absent, trustee Kunishin,
Aye.
trustee Masterson,
Aye.
trustee Spivak,
Aye.
carries.
Thank you. So what?
Bill,
What is the number?
to follow up on your comment,
The number is, if you want, 10-4-6.
I understand a lot of it was misleading, but,
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
but there was a lot of it wasn't.
I understand. I think that there is probably still a lot of misconception out there, because of some lobbyist efforts.
Okay, second reading of adoption of ordinance, amending the village code to prescribe the regulations concerning fences. We will do that next meeting. Consideration of.
Bill,
Bill.
can we go back? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, can I start for 1 second?
No. Yes, go ahead.
He says no.
He always says no, when he's good. When does the moratorium on the enforcing of the fence ordinance
Next meeting.
expire? So, at the next one, we're going to have to renew it if we don't have the
We'll
results.
vote on it.
Okay. I just wanna make sure it's what we can do.
Okay.
Bill?
Yes, sir.
You know, I'd like to ask, the task force requested the trustees' comments on our views on what their charter is. And I know they're working away. I got in the mail this morning the questionnaire, so I know they're working at it. But I think it'd be appropriate, it's been, 10 weeks, something like that, for one of the members of the board to come and sort of give sort of a summary of what they think their charter is and where they're at.
They know what their charter is.
I'm sorry?
They know what it is.
I don't think that,
Well,
That's not their problem. I don't want them to be influenced by the board at this point. Let them come back with their findings. You decide what you want to do from that point on.
well, the reason I'm asking, Bill, is because I think there was some division within the board. The support for the ordinance was very weak. And it was questionable whether it would carry. And then I think it was Trustee Chamberlain suggested that we have a task force. So in a sense, this was the Board of Trustees that asked for the task force, and I think it's appropriate to have them give us sort of an interim status report of what they've looked at, what they've thought about, what they think they're doing, and where they're
They
at.
will do so when they report on the findings.
at this point, can I answer that sitting on that task force? At this point, we've prepared a questionnaire which has gone out. Predicated upon the results of the questionnaire, once we do a tally of what those results are, the feeling in the task force is we're probably going to invite Pat and Chuck and Russ to one meeting where we can ask them questions with regard to the implications of all of the things that we're proposing. And then we're going to try to come up with something that we all agree upon, based on the response from the residents. We know what the board wants, I think. I think we know what a lot of members of the board want, because not all of them want the same thing. But we have
I don't know what the board wants.
that's what I'm saying, I said, different members of the board want different things. But we have a task in front of us, and we really are trying to move along with that. And I think a whole lot's gonna depend on this questionnaire and what comes back, and until we get that tabulated, I really don't know exactly where we're gonna be.
Well, how about coming back in a month, after the results from the survey have been tabulated, and give us a status report there, the results of the survey, and a sense of the task
I'm
force? Or did you already say that? I
Yes.
might have missed it.
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
certainly
fine.
hoping that in a month, we'll have recommendations for the board.
And, I think I understand what Rich is getting at. We would just like to know, what kinds of things were looked at. I'm not looking to, I've already submitted my comments, so I'm not looking
Fine.
to influence the task force any more than my own individual comments. But I would be interested to know, especially when they make a recommendation, what they considered and what they dismissed and why, and what they found persuasive and why.
They'll tell you.
That's why you're seeing work product now. You're seeing the work product that we put together. This questionnaire, which you have a copy of, you should.
Right,
Reading
this
papers
was,
today.
right, this
So-
was the first time we
okay.
got it.
Yeah, well, we just finished it.
I understand. I
So-
mean, got,
This is the first
Feedback.
work product you're gonna see, a solid work product out of it.
This went out to 171 homes from Thorngate west to the river, from Deerfield Road south. This is where 99% of all the deer fences are. This is the request of where This is the request of the task force.